Good morning, everyone. Lesley Myrick here, interior designer and Nancy Ganzikoffer's associate business coach. I'm coming to you live this morning from my in-laws' basement in northern Minnesota because it is summertime and I'm traveling. But you know what? That's the beauty of this. We can go live wherever and share great interior design business advice with you. So this morning, we are talking about how you interact with people and how that can change your success. And specifically, what we're getting into is body language, that nonverbal communication that is so important with clients. This is something that Nancy is an absolute expert at, and I have learned a ton from her over the years. So we're going to talk about 3 things today related to body language. Number 1, the types of gazes that you use. Number 2, something called fronting. And number 3, hand gestures. Let's start with types of gazes. I bet you didn't even know there were different types of gazes, different ways you can look at people, and different locations that your eyes can travel that actually have an impact on your communication. So most of us default to what's called a social gaze. So picture a triangle from your eyes down to your mouth. That's usually where we're looking at someone else. We're looking at their eyes, we're watching their mouth, and that is a really connected, not intimate, but someone that you're friendly with. This is a social gaze. This is casual. This is relational. You're watching their lips move. You're paying attention to their words. When it comes to sales, client meetings, anytime that you want to present yourself as an authority figure, as the expert in what you do, you want to try out what is called a power gaze. And it sounds very fierce. It's simple. It's just kind of the inverse of the social gaze. The power gaze, picture a triangle forming across someone's eyes, up their forehead. Looking at their eyes and upwards actually communicates authority and power. It is called the power gaze. For me, I find it very challenging. I'm very drawn to watching people's mouths when they talk. And it's taken some effort to switch that around and try to do the power gaze. But I'm telling you, it makes a difference. And one of our designers that Nancy coached tried this once. This was the only thing she changed about a client proposal meeting. Is she very consciously did the power gaze, made sure she wasn't looking down and making it more social and casual, and she got the job. These are those subtle cues. People don't even realize this is going on. It is subtle and it is subconscious, but we notice it. So that's the first one I want you to try to help your interactions with clients, potential clients, vendors, whomever you are meeting in the business world. Try practicing that power gaze and get away from doing the social gaze when it is a business situation. It's going to take some practice. It's going to take a little effort, but you will see a difference, which is crazy. Okay, the second point we're going to talk about is something called fronting. This is when you are talking with someone and you are standing. When you are standing in front of a potential client, a vendor, whoever it is in the business world, you want to make sure that your body is fully in alignment with theirs. So your chest is pointing to them. Both feet are pointing towards them. You are standing straight towards them. You are fronted to them because it is a subtle cue that you don't want to be in that conversation if you are leaning to the side, if your feet are pointing away from them and towards the door. These are all very subconscious, but they communicate to people. They show people that you're not really into that conversation and you don't want to be there. So when you are standing with somebody, you want to be fronted to them. You want to be in alignment with them. Show them that your whole body is engaged with them and what they are saying. And that keeps them engaged as well and keeps the conversation going. They know that you are invested and that you want to be part of that conversation. What's interesting, though, is when you are sitting with a client, say you are presenting a contract to them or a design presentation, you actually don't want to be sitting right across from them because that can be seen as a confrontational pose. What's best is to be sitting beside them. So when you are doing a client presentation, keep that in mind. People tend to want to just go across from them because it makes sense for conversation and for showing all your samples and renderings, but you actually want to focus on being beside them. Show them with your body language, with those subtle cues, that you are on their team, that you're on their side, literally. Okay, number 3, hand gestures. And you may have noticed throughout this video, I have been very clear about my hand gestures. When I say 3, I put up 3 fingers. Again, subtle cues to people that communicate trust and make your words make sense. So for example, if I was saying to you, oh my gosh, client, I love it. I found this giant sectional for your living room. Your kids are going to have a blast. It's going to be huge. It's so big. And my hands are doing this. Something feels off. Whereas if I were to say, oh my gosh, client, I found this giant sectional. It's going to be amazing for you and your family. That communicates trust. You can see that my hand motions, that my actions make sense with my words. Same thing if you are talking about higher and lower, bigger and smaller. Use your hands to direct and to align with your words to communicate trust and authority. If you are listing something 1, 2, and 3, again, using those hand gestures, using your fingers, you don't have to go crazy and suddenly start being like a flamenco dancer with your fingers, but understand that when your body language, when your gestures line up with your words, it very subtly communicates trust and authority. This is probably something you've never really put thought into, so I hope this has been eye-opening today for you. Nancy is an absolute expert at body language, and she has an incredible body language confidence course. You can find that at nancyganzacoffer.com if you want to dive a little bit deeper into this topic. But to recap, here are the 3 points. Look at those fingers. 3 points we talked about today. Number 1, types of gazes, social gaze versus power gaze. Number 2, fronting, standing in alignment with your clients. And number 3, hand gestures. And using your hand gestures, your motions, your fingers to count, anything that's going to help your words be communicated visually just emphasizes that to clients and helps make your message even stronger. So thank you so much for being here today for the Profitable Interior Designer. I love this topic, and I hope if you are interested in it, you can go check out Nancy's Body Language Confidence course, where she goes a lot deeper into these topics about how your interactions with people can change your success and how your body language, your positioning, your gestures, your gazes all impact your client interactions. So thank you all for being here this morning. Have a wonderful week. And Nancy will be back next Thursday for another episode of The Profitable Interior Designer. We'll see you then.